Time for another King's Claim devlog. So I'm going to try to fix some things that are wrong with the current, I guess you'd call it vibe coded thing. We've kind of got these logical entities. You've got like a player that connects to a web front end that's supposed to spawn a game server on the back end, which isn't really working the way that it should, which then communicates in real time over a WebSocket to the player. And then when this game is finished, the game server should send its statistics and the outcomes back to the Rails server, and the player should be sent back to the home page, which looks like this. And so they can play again. Or I guess maybe, had to burp. Or maybe see their stats or whatever. But we're not going to worry about stats and all that just yet. We're going to focus on refactoring the game server and make it something that I guess right now you can start automatically, you can spawn independently. So like here's what the backend text-only version of the game server looks like. It's a total mess, but at least it runs a simulation. And so I'm going to try to focus on getting the game server to be easily spawnable, which is pretty close to that, but have it also open up a WebSocket server that allows connections in, and the players will connect to a game with, I don't know, like a WebSocket URL plus some kind of token or something that the Rails server will eventually give it, so that you know that when this player clicks start game, this thing will spawn a game, but also return to the player a unique token just for that player that player will then use to connect to the server, and it'll work like that token will work like as like a one-time use password kind of thing, where then that unique player can connect into the game server and no one else can connect to the server as that player, and it'll be good. So what are the gaps right now? Let me see, let's go back here, start the Rails server. First of all, we want, when I click start game in the web UI, I want it to spawn a game server, establish a WebSocket server that then I can use as like a place for the players to connect to. We want to issue a token and then only allow connections to the back end using a valid token. What happens right now when you click start game is it tries to sort of connect to a WebSocket backend, throws an exception, doesn't really matter what that exception is, because the whole architecture of how the WebSocket stuff is set up right now is totally wrong. Okay. Makes sense? Hope that makes sense. So here's where we're going to start. Here's my to-do file in the King's Claim folder. There was a to-do for an autonomous computer player and, optimizing its strategy and just making it a little bit more interesting and robust. And then there was this other to-do, refactor for a process-based game loop. It's been a while since I worked on this. I don't even know. This just seems wrong to me, so I'm just going to straight up delete it. What happened? Let me try that again. Okay, cool. And here's my old King's Claim session. So, yeah, we're going to pick up the vibe coded stuff here. Is vibe coding the right term? I mean, I could write all this stuff by hand, but it should be faster for me to write it using this, so long as I give the AI enough direction to build the right thing. So I think I don't even really remember where I kind of left off. Oh, this is actually the beginning of the chat. Oh, geez. Okay, let's go way down to the bottom. What did we finish with? Update the game's controller. Oh, I was trying to make the spawning of the game. I was trying to make this button in the web. Oops. See, I stopped the Rails server. Sigh. I was trying to make this button do something. And that's kind of where I left off. I tried 2 or 3 different ways to make it work. Described to the AI. I was honestly being kind of lazy about it, and that's probably why it didn't work. But anyway, let's just do, all right, new task. I have my agents.md file, right? Okay, so it should know what to do here. I want you to convert the server application into a WebSocket server such that, here we go. When the player clicks start game, okay. Start game in the web UI, it will spawn a new server.rb. The Rails server responds to the web client with 2 pieces of information. The WebSocket URL to the spawned game, a unique token that serves as the player's authentication to the WebSocket server. The server should then enter a state where, let's see, have a state machine that works like this. Let's see. Initialization phase where it gets all the players and game objects set up to run, but doesn't start the game. Next state would in the init, I'm actually just going to call this init phase. Actually, after the init phase, the game server goes into the connect state. I guess I should use the terms of state machine. Waiting for all players to connect with their authentication token. If the players don't connect within 60 seconds, then the game should cancel. The server should close, and the players should go back to the home page. If all players do connect, then the server goes into the game phase, where the game starts running and the server streams the game state to all players. We'll worry about fog of war and that sort of thing later. A, B, C, C, D. Okay. Once the game ends, then the server goes into save. We'll just call it save state, which is when it submits the outcome of the game back to the Rails server. At the same time, actually there's something in between here. So let's go E here and we'll make this F. Once the game ends, the server should go into final. We'll just call it game over state, and it should send the outcome stats to all players for display on their web client, web browser. And then here after game over, then the server goes into save state, which is when it submits the outcome of the game to the Rails server. And then closes. Please write up a plan to implement the above, and if you feel it's best to use multiple to-dos to accomplish this, then that's fine with me. Let's better to have a detailed plan than a vague plan. Okay, so I'm going to submit this. And you'll notice, you might notice anyway, that I'm not using Gemini directly. I'm trying, because of recommendation of a friend of mine, I'm trying OpenCode Zen with Claude Opus 4.1. And we'll see how it goes. So, did I tell it to write it in the to-do file? I didn't explicitly, but hopefully it'll figure it out. Okay, so, reduce map size. Yep. Worker and AI, implement workers. Okay, so this is just a summary of what we've done so far. Oops. Okay. Oh, my scrolling is really rough right now. Okay, so it's busy writing up the plan. I'm in build agent mode. Whoa, what is it doing? We're on the right branch. Okay. Let me check to see the tasks. Summary or in the to-do file. Okay, it's going to write the plan to the to-do.md file, I think. Has not done that yet, but it's working on it. So I'll review the plan before I let it go. Okay, I think it probably wrote the file. It did, great. And it's going to commit the to-do changes, which is fine. Now I updated the to-do. Okay, and then it stopped. That's perfect. That's what I wanted to do. So I wanted it to write up the plan before it did anything. Now it did. I don't think it did all of this. Maybe? I don't know. I do have a computer player class, whatever. This is old stuff. I'm going to come back to the computer AI anyway. Let's just look at the plan for establishing the web server. All right. Add WebSocket server gems, Fey WebSocket, for example, which I've heard of, so that might work. I've also heard of this event machine-based one. Okay. Create a new game server class that implements WebSocket server functionality. Set up the server to listen on a dynamically assigned port. Implement connection handling with authentication token validation. Okay. That's a little vague, but maybe I'll have it. Okay. Can you add more detail to, let's see, T014 to the subtask that mentions tokens? Then I'll review the plan again. All right, so I'll give it a little bit of time to work on that. Implement gave server state machine. Create state machine with states init, connect, game over. Save. Cool. Fine. Okay, so it's working on its to-do. I'll come back to that in a second. Implement connect phase with 60-second timeout. Transition logic between states. Handle cleanup of server shutdown. I think it's really kind of vague, actually. All right, let's see what it does here. I found that it's very, very important to, pay attention. Oh, see, it keeps bringing this back. It's really important to review what the plan is so that you know what the AI actually thinks it is necessary. If you don't ask it to have this conversation about the plan and stuff, it's just going to kind of try to do what you asked it to do, but without much detail, it's probably going to fail. So, implement basic connection handling that accepts WebSocket connections and stores them by player number, player 1, player 2. Full authentication with tokens will be implemented in T016. Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. And will be implemented. For now, just track which connection belongs to which player position. Okay, that seems like it'll be fine. I noticed you brought back T004. You don't need to do that. It's complete. I've deleted. Okay, I'm still doing the plan, so let's not make any code changes yet. Okay, I'm going to shorten these. I like abbreviations that are like all sort of uniform in their length. So I'm going to do init, which is 4 characters. I'm going to do CONN, which is 4 characters. Okay, and okay, so it got my message about T004, and it's just going to sit tight for a second. Can I write that? Good. So game is while the game is running. State, let's do done for game over, because there's not like a good abbreviation that's 4 characters for game over. I could just do over, I guess, but I'll probably forget what that means. And then let's do save. Okay. So then I got to bring the AI up to speed. While reviewing the plan, I shortened the game state names to 4 characters each. Take note of this under T015 and update any other to-dos to reflect this. Otherwise, I'm still reviewing the plan, so sit tight till I'm finished. I only say, if you're wondering why I'm telling it, like, don't get ahead of itself and don't go too far and stuff like that, is because in the past I've noticed sometimes agents will be like, okay, cool, I'm ready to go, and they're just like all anxious to do it, and they just start building stuff, and I'm like, whoa, we're still in planning phase, so like don't get ahead of yourself here. Okay, so stop there. Hopefully it didn't make any changes. Oh, it did. Okay, it made a couple of changes, like just correcting the name of the stuff, so that's okay. Okay, cool. So under T015, can you add an ASCII art diagram of the state machine for my review? So what I wanted to do is, I've described this in text, of course, but I want to see an actual diagram of what it's going to do. Okay. State flow. Okay. Oh, see, so I added the diagram and it enumerated all of the states here again. So init, timeout error, game exit. That's interesting. Yeah, so I guess all these could transition to exit, which is clean up and shut down. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. I hadn't thought about that. I didn't even say anything about an exit state. There we go. Just gonna adjust that a little bit, and then That little arrow, that tiny little arrow is fine. Whatever, kind of strange, but that's fine. All right, so initialize game objects in server, wait for both players to connect. Active gameplay loop, game ended, determine winner, send results to Rails server, send results to players, send results to Rails server, clean up and shut down. Okay, that looks good. Implement init phase, con phase with 60-second timeout, add transition logic between states, handle cleanup. Okay. Okay, cool. It wants to do game server. Do I want it to do T014 on its own? Let me just review this. Like, are these really tied together to the point where they should be collapsed or not? Let's see. Add WebSocket server gems. Yep. Create a new game server class that implements WebSocket server functionality. It should, let's see, the file should be under app server, game server, RB, I guess, for now. We also have just server.rb, so I want to make sure, you know, that's not going to be a mess. App server, what does this do? Is it? Oh, okay. I forgot about this. Okay. Fine. I don't know what this broadcast thing does. Who knows? Let's see. Let's say instead of create, we'll do augment server class. No, we should do app server RB script to implement WebSocket server functionality. Set up the server to listen on a dynamic assigned port. Implement basic connection handling. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Hold, please. I didn't mean to clear the screen like that. Okay. Okay. What am I thinking? I'm thinking that T014 is missing a couple of things. For one, it's missing like what it should print or log on the console when it starts up. For T014, add some subtasks to log the server state to the console. For example, shell? Nah, let's just plain text. 2025, I don't know. 01, 23, 34, 45. Game init. And then we'll do 2025, 01, T01, 2, 3, 4, 6, player 1 connected. Etc. I also don't need to see the game state printed to the console anymore, or at least I won't need to see it after T014 is done. Let's eat the plan for T014 with these details for my review. Okay. So we're going to get more stuff here, and I have a better idea now, I think, of just what it's going to mean for T014 to be done. And then T015 is going to be all about the state machine. And let's see what it's going to do here. Since I switched models to Cloud Opus 4.1, I don't know, how this like spent money and all this stuff is going to work. It's supposed to auto reload when I run out of money, and I think it charges like, I don't know, $20 at a time or something. All right. WebSocket. And I was rambling about Opus. Anyway, so this is all new to me. This is the first time I've used any of the Claude models. It's the first time I've used OpenCode Zen, but we'll see how this goes. I might go back to Gemini. I was perfectly happy with it, frankly. All right, server. Yep, set up the server to listen on a dynamic assigned port. Implement basic connection handling. Yep. Star Wars player number, blah, blah, blah. Add timestamp console logging for server events with format. So it even got more detailed than I did, which is good. Great. Awesome. Remove the current game state JSON output to console previously sent to standard out for Rails bridge. Yeah, because we're not going to use the Rails bridge. Game state will only be sent via WebSocket messages. Great. Okay. Actually, I want some debugging on the WebSocket stuff. So for now, I want it to augment the logging to include all the WebSocket stuff. Update the logging subtasks in T014 to include logging of all WebSocket messages. This will be helpful while I debug the client server communication. Please update T014 accordingly, and I'll review. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. I think the rest of what's in T014 is fine, and we'll go with that. So, okay, cool. Oh, I even like this, how it came up with this idea of the directionality, right? Like this is an action or a message from the player, and this is this is a message back to the player, and it didn't know which player the communication is happening on and what data is sent in both directions. I think that'll be great. It'll be very, very verbose. For now, that will be okay. I'd rather have more information that I need, and I think we'll be fine with that. Okay, cool. Planning for WebSocket server. Push. All right, cool. Looking good. Okay. Anything else you can think of that we haven't discussed for T014? Wow. Error handling for WebSocket. Should we add a subtask for handling connection errors, drop connections, and reconnect attempts? This would include logging these errors. Okay. Error handling for WebSocket. Yes. Add some subtasks to handle and log this. T014 include basic message structure validation, ensuring message are valid JSON. Validation. Let's do this later. It's a good call out though. Port assignment communication. The current plan mentions dynamically assigned port, but doesn't specify how the server will communicate its port back to Rails. Should we add a subtask like output the assigned number to standard out so Rails can capture it or similar. Port assignment. Rails should be the part of the system that assigns the ports, and it should just tell the game server what port to use. This will require the Rails server to keep track of open games. Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. This might require the Rails server to keep track of open games, but for now, we can just have the Rails server start at port, I don't know, 10,000. Count up to port 60,000. And then loop back around to 10,000. This will allow for, what is that, 50,000 live games simultaneously running games, which I think will be way more than what we need in the short term. Okay. Graceful shutdown handling. Should T014 include handling SIGTERM, SIGINT signals for clean WebSocket connection closure when the server is stopped? Yes. Graceful. Yes, it should log when a termination is sent. Stop the game immediately and skip. And the game should just stop. No need to upload stats to the Rails server, but we should send a message to connected players to let them know that the game closed. That won't be great, but I'll try to, I'll come up with a more graceful thing in the future. All right, WebSocket ping pong, heartbeat. Should we implement keep alive ping pong messages? Keep alive. Sure. Let's do it. 6. Message broadcast. T014 clarify whether game state updates are broadcast to both players or if that's assumed. In the short, okay, broadcast. In the short term, yes, all the game field will be small enough that we won't won't have any fog of war aspect. I don't know if I want to add fog of or not, but for now you can assume broadcast. Please make these updates to T014 for my review. Okay, cool. So to answer its questions, I thought several of those were good call-outs, something we, could do pretty easily. Claude is supposed to be good at these, or at least I've been told, Claude is really good at these kinds of clear directions, breakdown of tasks, and it should be able to run in an automated fashion, even over these more complex changes, I think. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this, so we'll see. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff it's done. Yeah, I'm going to reread this, so it's no big deal. Oh, it updated example logs as well. That's great. Are you done? You're done. You're paused. Okay, cool. What's Control P? I just noticed this Control P commands. What is this? Oh, cool. Okay. Oh. Jump to message, compact session. Oh, that's cool. All right, well, something for me to learn later. I'm using OpenCode, by the way. I don't know if I guess it's pretty clear from this, but in case I hadn't mentioned that in the session, this is how I've been doing it. All right, so let's just look at T014. WebSocket server. Accept port number as command line argument from Rails. Perfect. Implement basic connection handling that accepts WebSocket connections and stores them by player number, player 1, player 2. Okay. Full authentication with tokens will be implemented in T016. For now, just track which connection belongs to which player. Great. Add error handling for WebSocket connection issues, connection failures, drop connections, etc. Implement WebSocket ping pong heartbeat. Okay, cool. Broadcast game state updates to both connected players after each game tick. Great. Add graceful shutdown for SIGTERM, SIGINT. Log termination signal received. Send game close message to connected players. Stop game loop immediately. Exit clean. No stats upload needed. Okay. I might actually change this decision. Maybe I'll log canceled games or something, but for now it's fine. Add timestamp console logging for server events and WebSocket. Yeah. Using, I'm going to specify this. The log messages for T014 should use ISO, what is it, 18. I'm going to have to go off screen, look something up. Timestamp, ISO, is it 8601? Yeah, 8601. 8601 format with millisecond precision. Actually, micro precision. Can you update the sample logs accordingly for my review? Microsecond precision. Yeah, maybe it's overkill. Maybe I won't care because the log messages should be time ordered, but when I get into optimizing the server and I want to know how long certain things take, whatever, microsecond precision might be helpful. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's what I want to see. 6 digits. Cool. I wonder if I didn't even look to see if the sample logs actually count up in time, but I think they do here. That seems okay. All right, cool. All right. So I'm going to stop here. I think we've got our plan. I think these planning phases are really important. And then the next devlog will pick up with the implementation. See you there. See you there.